Hi guys.
Hi everyone.
Welcome to another episode of Millennial Conversations. If you're new here, my name is Maria and this is my best friend Salma. We do this together where we just talk about conversations that affect millennials. We share our own personal experiences and we have fun while doing it. So today is another episode that's a continuation of the series that we started, which was the adulting series. And what we are talking about today is
Insert drum roll.
we are talking about body shaming.
Yeah.
And this is probably going to be one of the realest episodes we've ever done, one of the realest conversations we're going to have. So let's get into it. We decided to do this topic is mainly because we think it's something that's very important, that's rarely talked about in our society today. A lot of the times you'll see that yes, we do have campaigns and we have all these things trying to push for positivity when it comes to body images, but that usually comes from the West. And you'll tend to find that a lot of times in the African society it's just not spoken about.
It's probably because also in our society the way we view people's bodies is different from the West. I don't know whether that has a part to play. Because for instance, you find like here, where like in the African society, if you're skinny, more often than not, you'll be told
that
you're sick. You need to add weight. If you're married, your spouse is not taking care of you well. Things like that. So I think also there are cultural differences. But anyway, that aside.
And maybe just to kick us off, we'd like to say that we are going to be looking at one type of body shaming because there are different types of body shaming. I mean, there are different facets that come to body image, etc. So what we are going to be looking at today is on weight and just your body in terms of your physical
appearance.
Your physical appearance. So we are just going to get into it on our personal experiences. Salma, would you like to go first?
God. Why would you make me go fast? Okay. My experience has been interesting in the sense that I haven't felt body shaming a lot, but I have moments in my life where I have been made to feel insecure about my body because of my body size and my body shape and my body appearance. So, for instance, like when I was younger, my sister and I would share clothes.
Okay.
My elder sister and I would share clothes. So, I mean, we are cool. I never used to be told like your clothes, like you need to wear these clothes or you're fat or nobody told me that. When I went to high school, I added weight. I mean, who didn't add weight in high school? The things we used to eat in high school to make up for the diets there. So of course I added weight. And I remember when I used to come home, my younger brother would tell me, "You've become such a chubby person. You've become like my cheeks have become chubbier." But I didn't used to like take it to heart really. I used to be just like, this guy, he's too young anyway, so what does he know? Then that was high school. Then when I went to uni, I think I maintained that size. But then what I can mention is my challenge was in shopping.
I remember.
My challenge was in shopping.
You didn't like shopping for jeans or trousers or anything to do with the bottom.
Because I mean, okay, so for those who know me, I'm bottom heavy. And this is something that I think runs in my mom's side of the family. So most of the women in my mom's side of the family, we are pear-shaped. So we are bigger like in the bottom, and then up we are small. So that's also my case. So when we go shopping, I struggle because I find like a nice dress, which is my size, but how it looks down here is another story, Or like I find jeans, if the jeans enter, they'll be big at my waist. If it's my waist size, they won't enter. So I always had, and remember the uni that I was in, I mean our dress code was
strict.
So you had to find clothes to wear. We had fashion corps, so you can imagine like if let's say you find something that fits you, and not because us, I mean, we are bigger. At the bottom it's indecent, so you can be sent home. So stuff like that. That's now when I started feeling the effect of like being judged based on my body size and based on my body appearance. And then this one is difficult to talk about. Then I got into a relationship, an interesting relationship, where I mean throughout the relationship it was okay in terms of like I wasn't body shamed or anything, but it was at the end when it didn't work out. And it wasn't a very good relationship, because when it didn't work out, of course, you know, you go back and then something happens, you're like, okay, now I'm done. So now the final time when I was done, and this person was trying to win me over and they couldn't, the thing they resorted to was to use insults based on my appearance.
Wow.
You didn't know this?
No.
I didn't tell you?
No.
Yeah. So this
insults
person...
as in to now insult your body?
Yeah. So it was like, oh, so you don't want to be with me again? It's fine anyway. You're not attractive anymore. You've become a bag of bones. Yeah.
Wow.
And this, in fact, I've even jumped the gun, because this happened because, so when the relationship broke down and whatever happened had happened, I think I fell into like mild depression.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
Because it was
too much though.
I was shocked. I couldn't believe like this had happened to my perfect relationship.
Yeah.
So I just slipped under. Like I wasn't eating, I wasn't getting out of bed. Maria used to come and find my curtains drawn and like she would bring me cake to eat something. And now that period, because it was a significant period of time, because I remember it was falling like within the school holidays. So I remember we weren't having to go to class. I lost a lot of weight. Like, I lost, because I wasn't eating, I wasn't doing anything. I just lost a lot of weight. And so it was based on that I was told that I've become a bag of bones. And then I started realizing like, oh my God, actually, I'm not attractive anymore. Like I've lost my curves and my like my clothes are now hanging on me. And I think that was a significant moment in my life in terms of body shaming. That was in uni.
And I think that's also probably because when you are, dating someone and you love someone, of course their opinion always hits harder than anybody else's.
Yeah.
So I can see how, even mentally, when somebody tells you you're just a bag of bones or whatever,
you believe
it. You actually, and of course at that time you're also going through so many emotions and you're unpacking so many things, and you start even, I think, doubting yourself and wondering, so maybe this is why he left me, and this is why he's dating so and so, and you just find yourself going on this crazy bender that I think all women have gone through, where you just compare yourself to all other girls, or whoever this person is dating next, or because they've made you believe that that's the truth.
And had that not happened, I don't think I would have felt like that. If that person hadn't said those things to me, I don't think I would have, I would have lost weight, it's true, but I wouldn't have looked at myself and been like, oh my God, I'm so unattractive. I would have just been like, I've lost weight, so now I wouldn't have really thought much about it. So that was in uni. And then I got out of it, I healed, thank God. Even another thing when we're talking about experiences is, now for me, people who we've always been considered to have good shapes. When you are in a setting where it dictates how you should dress, so like I've already mentioned, like uni, where we had a dress code, then you find like when you go to work, like in professional settings, again, that's another scenario where like what you wear really determines how people judge you, because there's some things which to me they're cute and they're official and they're formal and I'd like to wear them at work, which somebody else will also wear and they will look good.
But
exactly,
look like
me when I wear them, because I'm bottom heavy, everybody's just like it's too much, which I also have to say is a cultural difference, because when I worked abroad, I didn't feel like that.
Find that,
I didn't feel like that. But here it's, so which also gives me a lot of insecurities in terms of like what to wear. The other time that I have felt more conscious about my body, I think, is now. in this season of my life.
Yeah.
Because I have added weight, you guys.
COVID
like,
weight.
Yeah. The COVID weight is real. And I thank God because there's an excuse. At least I can say that. I'm like, yeah, I see it. I see it too. But yeah, I think it's just the not being active, working from home, staying at home basically, and feeling the need to, because you're so close to the kitchen all the time. Yeah, I think that's about my experience.
Okay, should we get into mine?
Feel free.
Well, so I have had quite the journey with body shaming, with weight generally, and I think Salma, you know this. So I think I'll start with, in my family, people are naturally just very slender. So I was always the chubby girl. I was always the biggest in my family, like throughout my whole life. Even as a baby, if you see my baby pictures, oh my God, I'm a ball of pumpkin soup and everything. Yeah, so I was always like just the chubby baby. And I think for me, it started at a very young age because of that. And I actually did go through bullying. I did go through situations where people would tell me like, you shouldn't maybe serve as much food, or you should try and like walk a bit more.
And you're a child.
Yeah, like, so I remember like I think the worst part was in high school. I think in high school it hit more than anything, just because of what you're saying, because when adolescence happens, and we used to also have very bad eating habits. Like I remember we used to make blue band with sugar and those things and eat, and noodles, and I mean we had bad eating habits, but I really gained a lot of weight in high school. And I remember during that time it was the most difficult period of my life, because I would constantly compare myself to my friends. I would constantly compare myself to everything I would see on social media, everything. I used to even have a book where I used to cut out photos from like Shout magazine and things like that. Then I put them in a book, and then I just like sit there and I just fixate. And
this is even like your manual social media.
And so I fixated on it for so long. And then finally, when I left high school, which was now, there was that period before you go to uni, which was when now I was super, super big. And now everybody was on my case to lose weight. And everybody kept telling me how you're too young to have all this weight, all these things. Like I kept getting so much pressure. And so I stopped eating, basically. So I would have like a notebook where I would write like every day, like this is like what I've eaten. And literally, like it's not something in the movie, guys, it's real life. Like I would count and I would say like this is like how much I've eaten, etc. I mean, okay, at that time I do understand that maybe for them it was coming from a point of view of you need to be healthy. Because another thing that comes sometimes with trying to lose weight or to look a certain way is you sort of feel like your body is failing you. And so you actually eat more of the bad foods. Like maybe you're trying to starve yourself during the day, but then at midnight you go eat like a cake in bed. You go eat ice cream. So that was me, because I also used to feel embarrassed. Like even when I used to walk in a place and people look at me, like I used to feel like they're staring at me so much, so I can't eat. But because I'm so hungry, I could only eat like, you know, in the confines of somewhere where I'm alone, and then I eat.
Where nobody's there to judge you.
Yeah, and then as you know, Salma, I lost quite a ton of weight, and it was concerning. I remember I started running and gym. Now I was doing everything now. I was dieting, I was gymming, I was running. I used to run to Salma's house.
Yeah. Which was far.
Yeah.
I mean, for walking, it was far.
And I remember her mom used to be so concerned at this poor girl, because I used to run to Salma's house like every single day. And I must say, I think the worst part about going through that is sometimes there's no avenue really to talk about it. I think that for me in this society, because when you start telling your African aunties or friends that you're not eating food, they just think you're crazy because of now what you said. Like this is a society where you should eat and grow. The hardest part, because I was going through something, and it was just something I couldn't tell people. It was difficult to talk about, and even some things you're finding out now of the things I used to do, because even my closest friends didn't know. They just knew I just dropped weight like bam.
And she was a fitness
so
person.
bad. Yeah. Like it was so bad. It was on for like, there are guys who are like slim and it looks so good because that's your body and that's how you look and that's really nice. But when you also try and lose weight in an unhealthy way, you really end up looking just because it's unhealthy, it doesn't look like you. And it's the same reverse. Like if maybe you're trying to gain weight, but then you do it in an unhealthy way, it doesn't look like your body. And that's what happened for me. And now the worst thing is I was still being body shamed. Because
for being small.
Yes. Everywhere I went, I remember there was a time someone like held my hand and they were like, oh my God, like you're so skinny. You won't get a boyfriend. Men like passport. That's what they used to call it. Passport is the things you have.
It's called passport.
So that he can akona passport, unambebea passport. So that's when I had the term. That's actually when I had the term. And that's what like people used to tell me, that you're too skinny, like you're just too tiny. And I was so depressed.
Yeah, because it's not healthy. It's like, okay, you're telling me I'm eating too much, then I lose the weight, then now you're telling me I'm too skinny. So what do you want me to do?
Yeah, like I was so depressed and I spent, I think, a whole year trying to gain the weight back. But I had lost so much weight that it actually took time, and I had to even go to the gym to actually gain the weight. Many people think that I started gymming a lot because I was losing more, but no, I actually went because I needed to gain something back. Even now, as much as I have grown from it, and I have of course seen the two sides of where you can be weightier and you can also be really small and you're still unhappy. Of course, now I'm at a space where I know you have to do things for yourself and you have to make you happy, but it still lingers in my mind. Whenever somebody tells me, oh, Maria, I think you look a bit chubbier, or oh, Maria, I think you've gained a bit here and there, like that alone can send me into I don't want to eat, I don't want to do anything. Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I feel you because it seems like you're constantly doing things for other people. Because I don't know why that's the case. We prioritize what other people think about when they look at us. So if somebody was to see me today, they'll be like, oh my God, the last time I saw you, you weren't this chubby. You've become chubby now. And me, I'm with myself every day. I look at myself in the mirror every day and I've been okay with it. But then that one person who will see me will tell me like, wow, you've become so chubby. That person's opinion is what I will prioritize, which
and
doesn't make sense.
Like sometimes I think nowadays a bit better with the media and how they're trying to, I think, elevate conversations about body positivity. But I think now during that time, everything I was seeing in the media, in movies, everything I was watching was just about how people who are, small are glorified. And that's what I kept seeing. So it got down to the point that I used to doubt myself because I used to think like, you're not small enough and that's why you're not doing ABCD, or you're not good enough. Like it became that issue because everything I used to see, like when I see celebrities that I wanted to be like them, like, oh, they're so small. But you see sometimes people lie, and what you see on TV is not the real case. And you also don't know how many things people have done to look like that, etc. You see, but that's the world I was living in, and I had just painted an unrealistic thing in my head.
Also, society is very fickle, because if you think about it, think of it this way, like there was a time where like skinny was the in thing. Everybody wanted to be skinny, and then Beyonce came around and now she had the curvy butt, and then now all of a sudden people are now getting their butts injected. They want to have big bums. They're going to the gym to work out tone out their bums and to do squats and all that. Then I don't know, a time will come in the future, maybe people will be like, maybe legs are the in thing, then everybody will want to sculpt their legs. Like society is so fickle. So that's what I've also had to make myself understand. It's that what might be trendy now will not be trendy in the future, but you can't be pegging your life and your appearance on what is trendy, because some things it's not you, it's the way God made you, it's genetics. There's some people who in their family, like I've said, us, that's just who we are. Maria's family, that's just who they are. But you can't keep forcing yourself to be somebody that you're not, because of what other people think. It's just, you've been created the way you have been created. As long as you're keeping healthy, you're eating healthy, you nourish your body, because your body is what is carrying you through this life. It's all you have. You won't get another body. The best you can do is just make sure you're healthy. If you need to eat better, if you need to work out, if you need to drink more water, I don't know, all those things, for as long as you're healthy, I think that's what should matter. And yeah, trends come and go.
And so I also think like sometimes you have to also interrogate just your mental state, because if you have gone through fixating on your body, fixating on the mirror, on other people, just always having these thoughts, whether you want to be bigger or curvier, or whether you want to be smaller, chances are you're also not in the right frame of mind to start doing things for yourself. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. I'm happy that Salma shared that experience about her relationship, because often at the times that people who body shame are not at the people who are somewhere far away. It's always the people closest to you. And if you're in a relationship where someone is constantly making you feel like you have to dress a certain way, or look a certain way, or do things a certain way, chances are mentally they're getting into your head. And the worst thing about that, it's very easy for somebody to make you think that you're not good enough or you don't look good enough. It's such an easy thing for them to do, but it's so hard to unpack that. Like it's so hard to undo that damage. And that's why you just always need to be careful about like who you're around and the people you're around. Because I remember when, especially at the time when I really lost weight, it reached a point I never wanted to leave the house. And I used to find all sorts of reasons not to go out with people, because I hated being asked questions as to why I had lost so much weight. And the one person who I remember, like, you know, really helped me like just build back my confidence was my dad. And every day, like, you know, he'd tell me like, if you want to lose weight, it's okay, and if you want to look a certain way, it's okay, but we're going to do this together. And you know, it's so funny because he's an old guy, but every day he'd wake up with me and he'd tell me, okay, we're going to eat food and then we're going to do some exercise. But I want to see you eat the food. I want to like sit with you there and you eat the food. And I remember when I used to go to school, I was in uni at the time, he'd call me like at lunchtime, you know, and he'd be like, are you eating lunch? Me, I'm eating lunch. And me, this is what I'm eating. And so I sort of had that, which was a really beautiful experience. And I think he helped, I know, it's so emotional. He helped pull me back, because I simply had lost confidence in myself. And why I think this is a very hard topic to talk about is there are a lot of let me speak for women because I'm a woman. There are a lot of women you see out there who are very strong-willed and very smart and very bold, but they're the ones who sometimes are going through the hardest, like insecurities and doubts. And it's like a bad thing when you talk about it. You know, it's always like you always want to keep that secret, and you always want people to have that perception of you that like this is Maria and I'm a fitness person and this is, but that's not true. That's not how my story was. People might paint the picture that they don't go through these moments, they don't go through eating disorders, etc., but people really have stories. And that's why I think for us it's important to talk about it, no matter how hard or emotional it is, so that at least now the society is more aware that this is what young people are going through, and we can all now come together to eradicate this, because everybody is keeping things inside.
And just, I mean, for me, my emphasis is just to be healthy. You see, like the way Maria is saying, her dad would constantly tell her, eat the food, then we'll exercise later. Like, another thing I've come to realize about social media is that appearances is what social media is about. So you'll find people who, they go and do procedures, and then they'll come and tell you how, you know, this was me before, this is me after, or how it started versus how it's going. You don't know what that person did to get into that position. People go for procedures when they have money. People do different kinds of treatment, things like that. And I've seen this especially, like, okay, I know we talked about the type of body shaming you're talking about is weight and body size, but I've seen this very commonly in also skincare, where you find people go for treatments like laser treatments, I don't know what, and then they come to social media and tell you just drink water, take your supplements, and put on your sunscreen,
or they are manifesting,
and your skin and your skin will look like this. And it's never the case, because people do so many diet teas. They tell you if you take these teas, like this is what will happen, you'll have a flat tummy. I mean, I don't know, I haven't tried, so I can't say that they don't work, but I prioritize health more. That's what I would say. And I know that I have been told before that it's easy for me, a person like me, to say that. Yeah, people have told me, of course, Salma, you can say that because you look the way you do. And maybe it's true. Maybe like, because I said our experiences are different, and I wouldn't know what somebody else is going through. I wouldn't even know how my best friend, who I spend the most time with, how she feels deep down. I only know what she would share with me. So I also can't say that this is the blanket plan, like this is what I'm advocating for. I would only just say, I think across the board for everyone, your health is most important.
No, but I think Salma, someone who's gone through it, I definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something you're just saying because you don't know. I do agree with you, and I just wanted to echo, like with all these experimental things we try, even me, what I was doing, like not eating and sort of counting things, there's always something about doing things the wrong way and taking the easy route. And that's how I was saying it comes with your mental, because you want to maybe look a certain way or do a certain thing, but you know deep down that you're doing everything wrong, or you're trying to get about it in the wrong way, and that always leads to something else. And put in the work with yourself first. I don't mean put in the work in the gym and all these things. Do all that, but put in the work for you. Love you. Even if I have my beautiful best friend by my side, I have my family, I have people in my life, but even if they walked away, even if they told me you're a bag of bones, I'll be like, let me be that bag of bones. Let me shake my bones for you. See my bones shaking. See them shake. That's what I mean. As in, be so have that kind of confidence that you've built over time, because it takes years. It takes years to really love yourself to the point that, yes, even when somebody tells you you've gained weight or you've lost weight, maybe you already know, because you know your body.
Yeah, you know your body. It's true.
Yeah, this is how I want to look. But you know what? I'm doing this for me.
And also, not all of us. I mean, who is perfect? I mean, when we look at each other in society, nobody is perfect. And if that was the case, we would be giving God blueprints. Draw me like this, make me like this. We get what we get. Yeah. So when you look around, you'll find people, everybody is in a different shape. Everybody is a different size. Like, nobody is perfect. So I find it so weird that we would make ourselves or give ourselves a standard like, this is the blueprint, this is how we should look, this is the model, so everybody work towards this. I find that to be so weird, because already as we are so diverse. So I don't understand why it's become such a very strong influence on us, like as a society, as a generation, to look a certain kind of way. Who told us that was the way to look? Who said, why isn't it like this? Why isn't it like that? Like, who said this was the way? So it's fickle. These things, trends, ideas, ideologies about how you should look, I think they're fickle. By the time, you never know, when your children come, there'll be a new theory again, how children should look. I don't know. Yeah.
But I must say, speaking of children, I really do admire the younger, well, we are young, but I mean the teens now, because I think they're more woke and acceptable of body positivity than generations before. So I do admire how they approach these kind of things, because I think everything I've seen on social media about positivity, etc., has sort of come in this era, where we have the more, I don't know what I can say, the advanced generation, or people are just more, I mean, it's better than what it was before.
Yeah, but I also think it's because we had to crawl so that we can walk. I feel
we had to set the path.
We are the ones who went. We are the ones who broke those chains in some way, and then started that whole movement, and then now it's becoming more.
And I like that. I think I mean, I can't say that all is lost. I think definitely there's been a trend globally, really, to sort of enhance body positivity.
Yeah, and as a parting shot, if you're those people who have an opinion about everybody's weight, keep it to yourself. We are going through a panoramic.
What?
Panoramic, Pandora, all those words we use for this pandemic. Yeah. We are going through a very hard time. So if you feel like you need to comment on somebody's body appearance, please just keep it to yourself. Nobody wants to hear. We already know. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to subscribe, and catch you next time.
See you.
Bye.